With the current inflation and economic situation, building wealth has never been more difficult. But ironically, now is also the easiest time to build wealth too. I save more than 60% of my six-figure income every single month, and some months it goes up to almost 70%. Inflation is a wealth killer, so you need to do whatever it takes to beat it.
You are a thief of joy.
Simply storing the money in your checking or regular account will do you some serious financial harm. And this is why it's crucial to start saving and investing early. Divide your big goals into smaller, manageable tasks and chunks and check them off one at a time. First, to curb your impulse purchases. And so if you want to look at the stats, most wealthy people have their own businesses and they didn't get there by just putting in more hours every day. They all have these 6 things in common. And so let's talk about the 6 rules followed by every multimillionaire along with practical steps for each rule. This is a system that Robert Kiyosaki calls paying yourself first. The idea is that instead of trying to save what's left over at the end of the month, you keep aside your monthly savings amount so that you don't spend it throughout the month. And so in this video, I'd like to talk to you about the 5 golden rules I've followed to help me save more than $40,000 in 1 year so that you too can exceed your savings goals. And the first way to do that is to not have a savings goal. Let me explain. 1 full-time job, 1 hobby, 1 side hustle, 1 workout, etc. And then when every penny that the startup was making was invested back into the startup itself, which really wasn't very significant. Let's say you're earning $4,000 per month and your monthly expenses is around $3,500, which includes your rent of say $2,500 and about $1,000 for general expenses and provisions. This means you have a monthly savings of about $500. Let's assume the next year your monthly salary increases to $5,000. Now in all ideal sense, your expenses and rent should stay the same with the savings increasing. But that's not what usually ends up happening. And so inculcating the habit of saving and putting it away in the right account is super important. You pay rent on time every month or else you get evicted. You need to buy groceries or food, otherwise you die hungry. But if you don't save, there is no real direct impact or consequence. This brings me to the first golden rule of savings. Have a system in place to save. If you don't have a system, then there's nothing holding you accountable. And by this I mean, don't create a detailed Excel sheet and plan out exactly what you're going to spend in the coming month. If you invested $100 when you're a teen or early in your 20s and made a whopping return of 15%, you end up with an additional $15. But if you invested $10,000 and made the same return of 15%, you end up with an additional $1,500. I have a bunch of videos on my channel that'll help you learn these basics and also build financial systems